Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. (2018 to 2023), Alec Berg and Bill Hader. This series follows a man by the name of Barry Berkman. A hitman working under the tutelage of Monroe Fuchs, Barry's next job sees him killing a man by the name of Ryan. Tracking him down to an acting class, Barry is roped into a class ran by actor Gene Cousineau. Finding solace in it, Barry ends up killing another group of assassins sent to kill Ryan, beginning a chain of events that will forever alter the lives of Barry and this acting class. I had heard lots of good things about this show, and was interested because of Bill Hader's involvement in it. Man, I was not even close to being prepared for what the show was to become. This was a fucking flawless, unique comedy tragedy and character study. Man, where do I even begin with this masterpiece of a show? I struggle to even decide if I want to talk about the superb direction or the brilliant writing first. Let's just get the technical stuff out of the way first. Further, I'm going to try my best to keep things brief because I could gush about this show for ages and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, this show's visual style, to start, is brilliant. The show is very much a comedy, but it is shot and presented with such artistry and vision. Much of the show is shot statically and wide for many reasons, these reasons sometimes blurring into each other. One is for the comedy, as it allows for gags and jokes to be presented visually, either in the foreground or background. The other is for flow, as there are so many amazing one-shot and long-take sequences. One of my favorites is the motorbike chase in Season 3, which is... oh my fucking god, it's just so fucking amazingly coordinated. And the editing is just tight, yeah! Another reason this show has such a static shooting style is themes and symbolism. For comedy series, this show has so much depth in many areas, one of which is the surreal presentation and imagery used. These often take the forms of empty landscapes which are beautiful and scenic and represent things like the afterlife or mental tranquility. Another reason I love this show is the score and the audio. The former is really eclectic and uniquely arranged. We have accordions, synths, guitars, and other instruments taking us from quirky comedy music that helps us lighten the tone, to droning dirges that make the chaos feel more immense. Oftentimes, though, the show will forego music and leave scenes to breathe in silence. This brings us to the latter being the general audio design. Truly great audio design is a sign that directors care about what they are making. These directors and showrunners cared. Focusing on how a normal person would hear things in certain situations and in certain places, you get to experience scenes that would be utterly bland under any lesser filmmaker in a perfect way. Having background noise overpower dialogue, lowering volumes based on distance, using silence or piercing tones to denote stress. It's just brilliant stuff. In terms of production design, for a TV show, this is top-notch stuff. The sets and locales all feel authentic, and in tandem with the lighting create this odd contrast between the comedy tone of the show and the presentation. The effects as well, for a TV show, are top fucking notch. In the finale, they cared enough to show a grenade exploding in a realistic manner. The practical gore, the stunts and choreography, everything shows a dedication to craft that I rarely ever see. God, this show is just so fucking well made. Holy shit. Then there's the writing. If anything can top how superbly made this show is, it's how brilliantly written it is. It balances tone like very few shows are able to do, making you laugh at the darkest things and then having you feel the weight and direness when needed. Add to that, the pace of this show is just relentless. 32 half-hour episodes, 8 in a season, and nothing ever felt like it was dragging. Everything either pushes the plot forward or develops the characters or themes. It is the very definition of purposeful writing. But what purpose does the writing serve? What is the show about? To me, this show is about masks. Metaphorical masks, that is. Everyone wears a mask to hide something from the world. Every character in this show wears a mask to hide what they are. For Barry, He desperately tries to hide not only from himself, but from those he supposedly cares about, that he's a monster. He doesn't want to be perceived as a monster, but he nonetheless is. His girlfriend Sally wears the mask of strength to hide the fact that she is scared of everything. Barry's mentor Fuchs wears the mask of a father to hide the fact that he's a fucking weasel and a man who molded a vulnerable man into a killer. Gene Cousineau wears the mask of an artist and a teacher to hide his narcissism. Everyone in this show tries to hide something, and over 4 seasons the masks crumble, and the characters have to face themselves, and the audience has to face who they actually are. By the end of the show, everyone's mask has come off. For some, it has resulted in positive change. Fuchs had a self-revelation, and before fucking off to face whatever fate comes of him, helps Barry's family. For Sally, the abusive cycles are broken and she flees from the monster that is Barry. But for Barry, his fate isn't marked by positive change. His fate is marked by a need to put the mask back on, and in searching for his family, he gets his brains blown out by Gene, who takes the fall for Barry's crimes. Gene loved Barry because Barry loved Gene, and Gene's fate was marked by his self-serving attitude. In our finale, Barry's son ends up watching the film based on his father's life, but it is a film marred by inaccuracies some Barry's son can account for firsthand. These inaccuracies, though, allowed the mask to be put back on Barry, and his son can perceive his father in the way his father always wanted to be perceived. A good person. Our cast is just full of brilliant performances. Like, where do I even begin? I suppose we have to start with Barry Berkman himself, that being Bill Hader. I always liked Bill Hader, even dating back to his SNL days. I always knew he was the best of that bunch, and he would kill it when he left SNL. This role all but confirms I was right. Sure, other actors could have done this role really well, but no one could have owned this role like Bill Hader did. Awkwardness, sorrow, fury all played convincingly and powerfully. We also have Henry Winkler as Gene Cousineau, another actor who just owned the role they were in. He nailed the pretentious cunt role brilliantly. But when it came time to show those really raw emotions, he did so in a way that was unique to this character. We also have Sarah Goldberg as Sally. Man, this had to be one of the best performances in regards to an abused character I have ever seen. Fuck, it was so good. Holy hell, I can't really name the rest of the cast in time. Fucking Anthony Carrigan as NoHo Hank was phenomenal, and just as dynamic and unique as Winkler was. Fucking Stephen Root crushing it in this show as Monroe Fuchs. One of the more fun performances from the supporting cast was Michael Irby as Cristobal. Well, I could tell when he was shooting Mayans in between seasons. He brought such a different energy to this character, and he clearly has some chops on him. God fucking damn it. It's just too good of a cast, and everyone got great material and was directed wonderfully. What more can I say? This show is perfect. Brilliantly made, brilliantly written, brilliantly performed. Fucking brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. A comedy with smarts, action, and a soul, Barry is one of the best shows I have ever watched, and it has earned a spot amongst my favorite shows of all time. Potentially it might be one of my top 10 shows. Who knows? Anyways, if you haven't watched this show, it's obvious what I'm gonna say. Watch this fucking show. And you know what it is. 10 out of 10. Catch you later, guys.